Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. USDA is calling for a bigger corn crop than it had initially predicted. The agency releasing its planted acres report at the end of last week, and it sent front month corn futures back below the $4 mark. Now it's estimating corn acres to come in at 91.5 million acres. That's down 3% from last year, but higher than its prospective plantings report earlier in the year of more than 90 million acres. If it comes to fruition, this year's corn crop would see the 8th highest planted acreage since 1944. For soybeans, it's forecasting 86.1 million acres. That's up 3% from last year. For wheat, it's estimating a crop of 47.2 million acres. Also released the quarterly grain stocks report. It shows just under 5 billion bushels of corn, up 22% from this time a year ago, with a majority of it still stored on farms. For soybeans, 970 million bushels, also up 22%. Wheat coming in at 702 million bushels, up 23%. AgDay's Michelle Rook joins me with reaction to these numbers. Michelle, corn and wheat sunk after the numbers came out.
Yeah, Clinton, corn saw both the bearish quarterly stocks and acreage number, and the combination tanked the market, pushing the July corn futures below the $4 mark. And wheat followed with its growing carryout. Really, the only bullish number in the report was the lower soybean acreage. USDA's corn acreage at 91.5 million acres was up around 1.4 million from March. Market analysts say the increase isn't as much about weather or economics, but rather the March planting intentions being too low to begin with.
We felt all along like those March numbers, were artificially low. I mean, we just felt like the grower had seen the lowest prices they'd seen in about 3 years. And so, I think that sentiment was so low that most producers weren't overly optimistic about exactly what they were going to do as far as planting was concerned, especially with really high input costs still.
Bennett says the additional acres will add to an already burdensome corn ending stocks number.
If you get a 181, you're starting to talk about a 2.5 billion bushel carry again.
Soybean acreage was more friendly at 86.1 million, which was down around 400,000 from March, with a shift to corn and other crops.
Corn probably got some of those acres. That's probably what makes the most sense. I know cotton acres were up a whole bunch too. So maybe we had a few less beans planted down in the Mid-South Delta region because we know cotton was up over 1 million acres.
But he's doubtful lower acreage will ease the soybean balance sheet a whole lot.
I mean, we have a pretty decent carryout on the balance sheet now, and moving into new crop, I don't see us being real tight there, even with this reduction in acres. Got to remember that China so far hasn't booked really anything for new crop.
Quarterly stocks were bearish for soybeans, up 174 million from last year, but especially for corn at just under 5 billion bushels, up almost 900 million from last year, which runs counter to strong cash basis levels.
Right here in the heart of central Illinois, we've had a very large processor push from 5 over to 25 over in a matter of days here over the last couple of weeks. And it's just evidenced, I think, of a grower who's fairly tight-fisted.
Total wheat acres were down around 260,000 from March, but quarterly stocks came in at 702 million bushels, up 132 million from last year, adding pressure to prices. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Day.